Hey everyone, this is lesson 4 about the simple future tense in Kashmiri. We have covered just one tense so far, that's the present tense. The future tense is in a sense simpler because you only need one word other than the pronoun. You do not need an auxiliary or a copula. You just add some endings to the verb. So first of all, you need the stem. We've talked about the stem. It's simply the verb without the ending, which might be un or on or yon. We had some verbs like dapun, gatun, karun. You drop the endings and you're left with the stem. Fairly straightforward. And then you add on some endings. Here we have a post-vocalic set of endings, which simply means that these are the set of endings you use after a vowel. If the stem of the verb ends in a vowel, you will add these endings. Let's have a look at an example. There is yun, which is to come. However, the stem for it is ye, not, just ye by itself, which wouldn't make sense since when you drop the un sound from yun, you're left with just a simple sound, a simple ye sound. And let me go back to the previous slide. The endings are pronounced m, k, y, mav, y, and yiv, and n. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. So you add the endings and you get yim, b'yim, that would be I come, tsiyik, you will come, as in thou will come, ye, he or she will come, yimav, we will come, yiv, you will come, you guys, you in the plural, yin, they will come. Now the thing about these is since these are all conjugated, they kind of don't really need a pronoun. I could just say yim, and that would mean I will come. I don't really need to say b'yim or ers yimav. I could just say yimav. That would mean we will come or we shall come. The post-consonantal set of endings is also similar. There are only a few changes. We don't have a m in the first person and we don't have a mav for the plural form. And instead of just k or n in the third person plural, we have a vowel, the a thing, to make it, to give it some sound to pronounce, to give it a vowel to add to after the stem. An example of this, let's take karun, fairly straightforward, fairly like a common verb with the stem kar. So if I were to add these endings in the singular, I'd get kar, bukar, I will do, tsukarak, you will do, kairi, sukairi, he or he will do in that case because I need a pronoun to have gender, sukairi or swakairi, that would be she will do, oiskarav, we will do, actually, yeah, oiskarav, we will do, tuhkariv, you guys will do, and tim karan, they will do. Now, you notice I've highlighted this one where we don't really say kariv, but kariv, kariv instead of kariv. And the reason this happens is because of a vowel change. Some vowels in the second person plural will change, they will mutate. And we just saw an example of it, a changed to we saw karun, we also have another verb like garun, which is to sharpen, and I would say b, gar, ts, garak, su or swa, gare, us, garav. But if I want to say you guys will sharpen, I would say tui gariv, not tui gariv. And finally, we would have tim garan. Similarly, a changes into This is a very Kashmiri sound. You won't find it in most other languages. It's probably better to hear it in context. We have manun, like to agree or consent to something. And if I want to say you guys will agree to something, I would say tui maniv, not tui maniv. Tui maniv, tui maniv. Similarly, there's o, like a long o sound, but it's pronounced somewhat differently in Kashmiri. We say o. It's kind of like it opens up a bit, and it changes to oo. For instance, rozun, it's a very common noun in Kashmiri. It means to stay. It also means to be left over or to live someplace. So you would hear it a lot. Just to conjugate it, I would say biroz, that we I will stay or remain or live. Ți rozak, you will stay or remain or live. Su or swa, roizi, will stay, will remain, he or she, that is. Ais rozav, we will stay or remain or live. Tui ruziv, you will stay or you will remain. And finally, tim rozan, they will stay. Let's do some more verbs. Let's have some practice. We have dapun, common verb, means to say or tell. With this set of endings, when we add the endings, we get dap, bdap, tdapak, su dapi, he will say, swa dapi, she will say, ois dapav, we will say, and tuh dapiv, you will say. And finally, tim dapan. Here's another one. This one is slightly longer. Bergraven, which is to share or distribute something. Now here you have a verb which has a stem that has two syllables. The first one doesn't really concern us. It's the second one that will change. And since it has a, it will change to in the plural, in the second person plural. So we will get bergrave, bergravak, su bergrave, he will distribute, or swa bergrave, she will distribute. Ois bergravav, tui bergraviv, and tim bergravan. I should say something though. When you speak very fast, you almost, in some cases, will not hear that v sound at the end. So bergrai kind of becomes, it's a very weak b sound at the end. It doesn't really need to bother you immediately, I think, but sometimes it might confuse you at a later date. But just keep that in the back of your head for now. There's kyon. It ends in ke. Since it ends in a vowel, we will use a vocalic set of endings, which is provided here. We get bekemme, zekek, zukei, eiskemov, tui keiv, and tim ken. Now, I should tell you something here, which is a bit of a confusing point about Kashmiri, because the sound that's written as a here with an e is actually quite different in, let's say, the first person singular, where I say bekemme, and in the second person plural, where I say tui keiv. It's almost like the first sound is a ya and the second sound is an a. This is one of the aspects of Kashmiri that's not very well studied, and I would not go into it because I myself don't have a very clear understanding of why it happens. I suspect it has something to do with the kind of endings that you tack on. However, for now, you could just pronounce them with a short e, like kem, kek, kei, kemov, keiv, ken. There's jon. Jon is to drink. Again, it ends in an S sound. There will all again be that kind of difference in the quality of the vowel produced, which I will not go into. Buchema, zchek, suchei, eshchemov, tucheyev, timchen. This is about it for the future tense. In the next lesson, we'll do the copula again, but the past and future tense of it, which will help you not only in saying I was, you were, and that you will be, she will be, but also in forming other tenses, especially past and future continuous tenses.